Hi, in today's video, we've learned how to make combos for our attack. So we've been building a combat system in our game, in our action adventure game. And right now we only have like one animation. So we have now 3 attack animations. You can see the left punch, right punch, and a kick. So this also happens when you try to like attack an enemy. So you doing your combos. It looks cool. And if you want to know how we made this, follow the video and I'll see you in the next one. Also consider subscribing and like the video too. Hi and welcome to today's video, and in today's video we are going to add an extra animation to our combat system. So right now we only have this attack function that only like works when you hit attack, but we want to be able to create like a chain of animations playing like together, like sequentially, and that's what we are basically going to do in this video. So let's just test this out and see how it looks. So right now when you hit the right mouse button, you throw your punch. When you hit it again, you throw the punch. You'll notice that when we do it multiple times, we have like a starting animation there. So this is something that we want to change, and it's easy to do that. And first of all, we shall go back to our combat component and make sure that we only play this animation once we have a free slot for us to play the animations. If you get me, I'm saying that if the animation is playing, there's no need to play it. So you can only play it like once it's completed, right? So to do that, I'll introduce another variable right here, and I'll name it play, or say maybe I can name it anything else, or maybe a boolean. I'll call it attacking. So, and I'll get this playing variable, and I'll do a check first just to confirm that our animation is not playing. So I'll check that, then I'll make sure the animation is playing. I'll do a branch over there and hook this up, shake it, and then I can decide and say, after completing, we shall stop the play, right? So it's much easier if you just do this little check over here. So let's go back and try to like mash the attack button. You notice nothing's happening. It's because we've made a small error right here. So I'll go and check this and make sure that it goes from false. And this one's here. So make sure it's not playing. Go back and do our tests. So you notice that when you press the attack button severally, if you try like to mash it, you notice it's kind of like trying to do like the animation, but it won't go through. So it's as an easier blend. Cool. So up until now we have like one animation, that's like a throwing punch animation. I want us to add another one so that we have like maybe 2 or 3 animations. So remember, it's a system that we're building, so and attack is like the most basic part of this system. We need to know how to attack. We can also do another one and say maybe on blend out. Let me just check how that plays. I think I'm happy with on blend out. Yeah. Save everything. We shall go back to Mixamo more. Mixamo. It's taking a while. Just log me out. I'll log in again. Put my email. Password. And then we had that punch animation. Was it this one? I'm just curious. Let me just confirm. I'll open it up and set the preview mesh to this one. Yeah, we're playing with our left. Just making sure again that it's not the same animation. So you have this one that's punching with the left and this one's punching with the right. So I'll download this, but this time round I won't use the skin, so I'll go to keyframe reduction, uniform, without skin, download that. Yeah, and once I have that downloaded, I'll quickly minimize this. I don't need it anymore. So go back to import. Sorry, just cancel that. Go back to art, animations, mesh, and I'll import this animation right here. I'll quickly import it, punching EX. The skeleton, I want to make sure I have the punching skeleton somewhere. Yeah, punching skeleton, import. Yeah, and then you have like the other animation. So quickly retarget it to the other skeleton. So go straight to this guy right here. Make sure everything's working. We're not happy with the bones, but it's okay. Export animations, art, animations. So go back to the MetaHumans and we'll search for animation. Just right here, export everything. Yeah, and we have our punching. So quickly delete this. We don't need it anymore. Just to keep our project clean, I'll delete that, and just on this content browser we can create another montage and create a new montage, and I'll move that to our montage folder or box, and then close that, go back to our combat component, and then promote these to a variable. and I'll name them attack, and then change this to an array and remove this. So make sure that so we have like, I'm losing a lot of references. Yeah, that's closed. I'll get a copy and quickly hook that up here. So it's easy when you do it this way, so you can have like an array of various animations. When you compile it twice, it will work. So go back to attack montages, and then you will start adding your animations. So you can do the punching anim, and then you can do the other one is the punching montage. Cool. So it's important to note that during our little like pressing, we won't be able to do anything big, just apart from, let me say, we won't be able to do so much with the animations because we have this variable right here. We also need to figure out a way that we need to figure out a way that we can connect the animations, right? So we might say that once this animation is playing, just make sure that it's the next one. Yeah, because right now when we play, we're just going to play one animation, but we don't want to have like we basically don't want to do like, let me say, we don't want like we want him to be able to do like a left and right animation. So to do that, we can do it in several ways. So I'll just create another variables for an index of animation that will be playing here. From it to variable, and I'll name it combo count. Yeah, save everything, and I want to make sure that once we complete this animation, the next animation that we'll be playing will be our, let's say, our the second animation, right? So I'll go ahead and say add combo count, and I just want to do it on blend out so that we continue like doing the animation, the next animation. So I'll do an increment on blend out, and once we go back and hit play, we throw the first one and we throw the second one. That looks cool. So you also notice that we can go as far as we want with the number of animation, or maybe the number of combos that we want to add in our combat system. But it's important to make it a bit more scalable and dynamic. By that I mean that we can always be checking for the number of animations in our attack montages and making sure that they don't exceed the combo count, right? So to do that, I'll check for the length. So this usually gives us like the number of items in an array. So check the length. If it's like any number, and I'll do another like check here. After checking the length, I'm going to get my combo count, and remember the length is going to give you like the absolute number of indexes, elements in your array, but you always want to check if it's it has more than let me say it usually has like, you usually get like an index and a length. An index usually starts from 0. The length usually gives you the number of items in your array. So that's why you have to like subtract 1, and from that we check if it's still greater than, let's say if it's still greater than, I'd say equal, or maybe let me just say greater than the combo count. So only if this condition is met, we are going to let me say we are going to do a branch here, and we're only going to do this if the combo count is greater than. So do that, connect this to the branch, and in the branch, if it's still greater, we can add it here. If it's less, we don't need to do anything. So let me see. It's greater than or equal to. It's less, do nothing. I think that makes sense, right? We might even want to check if the length is equal. Yeah, let me check. Let me do another check that allows for the combo count to be of equal. So you can check the length is if the combo count is I think I was just okay. It's greater than. Yeah, so that if it's less, do nothing. This will always, we can always test it and see if we are running into any issue. I'll just make sure everything's working correctly. Just get the length, it's a bit greater. Let me just check for that, and I can just do a print string. Print string and say hello, because that's always going to be greater when it hits false. Yeah. Never mind. I know that logic works. I was thinking of something else. I think that one works. So we're going to restate that once it's equal, right? And once we start playing, we'll still play the second one. I'll go back to the first one. I'll go to the second one. Yeah, that's our perfect combo. So I'll go back to our combat component, and again make sure that this only happens when you blend out. However, we might do like an animation. You notice that it automatically goes to the second one, and we don't want that. So basically we want to change that to set the combo count to 0 once the animation is completed. So this is important because we don't want to it might reset a couple of things, but I don't mind doing that. It might reset a couple of things. That's not the correct way of doing it. So I'll leave it on blend out for now, and we can always try and add more animations to our combo. that, let's just add a kick. Yeah, we can use this one. Download without skin uniform reduction. Everything is set. Quickly import it. Animations. Import our guy. MMA kick. On the skeleton. Punching. Import everything. Do you have to check it? Yeah. If we need to. That's set. And then go back to retarget the animation itself. This guy here, select the MMA kick, go back to the MetaHumans animations, select that, export everything, override, export, and you have our kick right here. So quickly create an anime montage to it. Move it to the montage. Close this one, go back to a combat component and add a third element, and I'll look for the MMA kick. Compile. So you notice that if you have like this line of script in place, it's easy. Even if it's easy to just add animations to it and it will play no matter what. So first one, second one, the kick. Yeah. 1, 2, and kick. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. That's how easy you can like add combo system. It's very basic. I mean, this simple line has taken us I think a lot of time just to do it, but I'm really happy like to go slowly and making sure that you get to understand everything. Other than that, I think this is I'll cut the video from here. I'll still continue with the series and I'll catch you in the